Alright guys and gals, today we are gonna side this rake right here. This area above a roof is what I refer to as a rake. So what we got is the tie vac is already done correctly, which is nice. You can see right here the tie vac overlaps the step flashing going down the roof. That gives us a continuous drainage plane all the way down, so that was well done. Oftentimes you'll see roofers will put their ice and water, this ice and water behind here, you can probably see the black right there. Anyways, roofers will put that on top of the tie vac, which is incorrect. So this is all done correctly. That's great. I got my staple gun right here, and so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on this little piece of counterflashing down here at the bottom. This is going to go right under the tie vac. So I know I have plenty of this stuff, so I'm just going to wing off a bit and trying to squeeze my way in here. Put that in tight, and I'm going to flatten this out a bit so that it holds tight to the roof. And I'm going to want to go just past that, so I can cut a bit of this top leg off. You can see that. There we go. Cut a bit of that top leg, cut it at an angle, and that's just so when the soffit goes on, it's all white right there. This one's a little bit tricky, the way the roofer bent this shingle up the corner here, but nonetheless I will put it on all the way down. I just gotta flatten it out a lot. There's a couple of funky situations here. You'll see down here where this metal's all going to be white right here and down there. So anyways, here we go. Put that up in there, and what I'm going to do is go below, actually probably inside that shingle there. So I need to cut this off a little bit. These are one of those situations you get into and you just like, how did I get here? There we go. I'm trying to install this thing as level as I can. You can see that bottom edge still has a bit of a gap under it, so I'm really flattening this thing out, which I don't really like to do, but it's gonna look the best if I do. At least I have this clean line to go with when I put my J on. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And I'm going to add a little tape on there to get it up to underneath the tie vac. There we go. And that's looking level right there. Leaky hose. Okay. Actually, I can just add a piece of this. As much as you can. You want to have things mechanically flashed and not rely on tape or adhesives where you have a edge and water can get behind it. Siding definitely matters when it comes to water intrusion. A lot of people seem to not care whether or not water gets in behind siding. There we go. Perfect. I've seen areas under decks rot right out, areas under doors usually rot right out because they're just not counterflashed. So there you have it. Everything can drain. I don't need this anymore. And the next order of business is I'm going to get the soffit cut. This is the material that goes underneath the eaves here. I'm going to check a few places. It's 13 1/4 overall. $13 1/4 and 13. Okay, when I put my F-channel trim on, it's gonna actually hold the soffit away from this wall a little bit. So I want to go a little short, so I'm gonna go 12 3/4 on all of that. And these pieces of drip edge are 10 feet long. I could kind of count that out to give myself an idea, but you measure it out. $19, 22 pieces. Plus another 5. So I need 27 pieces of soffit. So I'll be right back once I got those cut. Okay guys, I'm back. I got my soffit there. It's all cut. Forgot to mention that it offers a foot of coverage per piece. That's why I was saying the measurements like I was. Just gonna go just like that. But I gotta get my F channel on first. F channel, J channel, soffit, and then metal. You see I already have all my stuff leaned up here. The F channel's in the shape of an F. J channel's in the shape of a J. As much as you can. You want to get everything leaned up, propped up, and ready to go, so you don't make a bunch of trips up and down. A little time-saving tip. And you saw I just cut that at the bottom at an angle. That's because it's gonna go against that piece of counterflashing we just put on. And actually, it also needs to get cut at the bottom legs, also needs to be cut at an angle. Just like that. Now hopefully that'll be pretty tight against the metal down there. Can't really see it from the ground too much, but I like to make things pretty. Alright, I'm just going to tack it there for now, then go down to the bottom and check the fit down here. Okay, it's actually looking pretty good right there. I may be able to slide it down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Ugh. Come on, stop breaking. There we go. The soffit, when the soffit goes in, it'll squeeze that a little tighter. It's a bit of an awkward position. Usually you only really have to nail stuff every 16 inches. F channel, J channel, siding, all of it. These blocks right here are 2 feet apart, so I just go right on the blocks and then one in the middle. Only my staples are a foot apart. And once I have it against the block, that's going to hold it straight in between. There we go. That's a little flared out at the bottom there. It's not really going like this, it's more just flared out, but I'll push it in with the soffit. Okay. Another piece of F channel. And I'm just going to hold it there. Pinch it and make a little mark where it hits the other one. You see this top edge is cracked here. That's all right because that's going to be hidden. And what I'm doing is cutting the top leg a little bit in on the bottom leg. That way it doesn't start running into the top of this one and holding the bottom away. Okay. I don't think this piece is going to be long enough. Nope. Bye-bye. And I need to make room for the other F channel, so I'm going to cut that right there, and then they will butt together well. Man, so my instructions might not be super clear today. I don't know what's up with me, but when I'm trying to work, oftentimes I'm focused on what I'm doing, and my language, my speech will suffer a bit. But I think you'll be able to find lots of good information in what I'm doing here, so I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. There. Now I'm measuring where the bottom leg is going to contact the roof. It's about, and just kind of guessing, it's about 1/2 inch down from there, or 5/8 of an inch down from there. I'm using those blocks to hold my tape straight. I'm measuring to the bottom leg of the F there, 57. Okay. I could cut the top leg further that way if I wanted to, but I'm not going to. Just gonna snip it square. And I didn't really have to do that bit. Snip that off. And it looks like it's a little bit tight. Got to take off about an 1/8 inch. A little more. There we go. Looking good. Those, I was saying before, those bottom legs are now lining up. Hose is caught on something. Okay. And these videos I'll have links. I put links in the comments, so I couldn't figure out how to put it in the description with it being clickable. So you'll see links in the comments. I'll pin my comment to the top, and you'll be able to find things like this gun here. This is a Senko SLS 20. Shoots an 18 gauge staple with a 3/8 crown. It's not wow, words are failing me today, guys. I'm sorry. It is not what the manufacturers recommend for nailing on siding. I am just doing trim with it, so I think it'll be okay. But you know, hey, if you want to maintain a warranty, if you're worried about that, then by all means hand nail or use a 16 gauge staple, which that gun right there will shoot. That's a Senko, not Senko, it's a pass load. All I'm doing here is just eyeballing this. And I'm just hoping that it works out. We'll see how I did. Yeah, it looks like the top needs to get trimmed more. That's alright, I'll just keep trimming it until it fits. That's how I do these. A little bit of guesswork, a little bit of trimming, and eventually I get it right. And the one thing I want to keep an eye on is that this bottom edge here is lining up with the bottom leg of this F channel. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I gotta take a little bit more off the top. Eventually I'll learn how to put links for tools in the description, and I may even have them clickable in the while the video plays. Again, that's still a little bit more off the top. Looks like about an 1/8 inch. And who knows, maybe I'll get sponsors on these things so I can send you to different sites. But for now I'm just using Amazon affiliate links, which I don't believe they charge you anymore as a consumer. I just get a small commission for bringing a sale their way. fairly certain that you guys don't get charged more for using an affiliate link. And it's convenient because I'll link these snips and a hammer and all the tools that I use, so you guys don't have to scrounge around for them. Come on. Side of the hammer. Okay. So we got that in. It's just kind of floating there, but once I get this next piece in, it's gonna lock that in place. And I mean, this is all guesswork here. It's not very satisfying to watch. I understand that. But hopefully you learned something. Alright, so I'm just gonna guess where that intersects there. And it looks like it starts about 2 inches back. What I can do is measure in here, and you guys can see probably just as well as I can. This is kind of a joke here. I got about 2.5 inches. Okay. Two and a half, and now I'm just cutting this bit off. Yeah, these videos are not going to be like super duper professional. I am a professional at siding. I'm not a professional spokesman. I am not a professional videographer. But I'll load these things with as much tips and tricks as I know. Okay, so right there, that point's right, but I gotta cut a little off of there. So I'm going out of the angle more. So that whole bottom now needs to get trimmed so that this will go inside the F channel. Looked like it had to go about 5/8 of an inch in. And I didn't dare to cut that point up too high there. Because this thing is swelled out, the top's not tight, the bottom is. So now I'm going to cut this thing a little bit out of square. Just like that. And I'm going to use the soffit to push the F channel in a little bit as well if I can. Just contacting the roof and just dragging everything up a little bit. So I need to take a little bit off of that there too. Looks like I can still go more at an angle with the bottom. Trim, trim, trim. Okay. That's that bit I didn't dare to cut. Okay, and then a little bit more of an angle. Okay, now this should look good. it's close. It is close. It is nearly perfect. What do I need to do? You know what? I like the way it's fitting. So it's poking out a little bit here. I'm just going to take a bit off of this and then nail it. And I'm being really fussy, and I'll tell you what, you're gonna be hard pressed to see any of this from down over there, from anywhere on the ground. But I want to make it watertight as much as I can and make it look nice. Okay. I want to pound this tight so that the soffit doesn't move from where it's at. There's a little bit of room behind it in the F channel, but it looks really nice. It's fitting well. And I want to nail this in 2 places, that way it can't twist. And then open up right here. You can see that flaps up a little bit, but that's all nailed, and it's gonna look good for many years to come now. Okay, so we got the first 2 pieces on, and now we're off to the races. Those were the hard ones, so I apologize, but you know, that's kind of stuff we deal with out here in the field. Not, like I said, not very satisfying to watch a person struggle with putting on one piece of soffit. And that little area right there is going to be really funky with the metal wrap. So just kind of show you how I approach things, and you can use those practices or find a better one for yourself. Whoa, no, I hit you guys on the roof. I gotta check how this thing's adjusted. Okay, we're good, I think. And this thing right here, I'm going to push it in and nail that so it doesn't swing out and hit the fascia metal. Okay. Hopefully it don't crack. All right, it didn't crack. Okay. Whew, I can stand up now. Sort of. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. And you know, just so you guys know, you know, I put a fair amount of money into cameras and stuff. I actually have another GoPro coming, and so I'm gonna give a chest view and a view from my head, and I'm gonna repeat this eventually, but eventually I hope that I get enough money from doing these so that I can have them, all the footage edited, and maybe even a commentary over it. I think I made my first 75 cents a couple days ago. So, but this isn't really for making money. I mean, I'm gonna do, I think, 2 more houses with siding, and then I'm gonna hang it up. That's gonna be it for me. My body doesn't like it anymore. My mind doesn't like it anymore. So I'm hoping to impart some wisdom on you guys. Wisdom, or whatever you want to call it. Some knowledge. There we go. You stay right there. There we go. The next house I do, I'm gonna side, start to finish, record the whole thing from start to finish. New construction house. And have those 3 perspectives. I'll have a camera on a tripod, one on my head, one on my chest, and I'll just post the one from my head until hopefully I make enough money off it. I can have somebody edit them and give a view from the chest, from the head, and kind of give you many different perspectives. That way you get a clearer picture on what I'm doing. And so you guys know, I'll make my qualifying statements now, about 20 minutes into the video. I have sided somewhere in the neighborhood of over 100 houses. I can't even keep track at this point. I started working when I was 15, framing, and when I was 19, in 2003, I started my first siding business. And yeah, I've done a lot of siding since then. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 houses a year. Took a break, did some masonry, and laid some blocks and bricks. And now I'm back out siding for a bit. So what I'm doing is I'm measuring to this bottom leg there. A little bit more than the bottom leg, so a little bit up. 11, and if I go 11, that's going to hold this top down a little bit. So 11 is going to work good on the outside and the inside edge, and conveniently it's right next to that edge there, so I can either just kind of remember where that is or just scribe it. I hold my finger as a little guide. So what I'm going to do is just bend this edge here. I'm starting back here and rolling it into that corner, because otherwise it'll just bend this whole bit right here. Just like that. I'll get on this other side here, and then kind of work the middle too. I don't know if you guys can see that. This is where it'd be nice to have a chest camera. So that's kind of the idea there. Now I can just continue the soffit down the other side. I still have my clip on. See, I don't want to push that too far up. I want to hold it still about a ½ an inch down. I gotta fix this hose, it's really leaky. And this one again, I don't want it to twist, so I'll put a nail in it. Oh man, that thing's not really clipped in. I want to make sure it's clipped in. There's a little gap there, but I'm going to let that fly because it's never going to get unclipped. Okay, so all clipped in all the way down. Now we got our clip on there, and now we can just head down the hill here on the home stretch. And I don't know, when it cracks like that, I don't really like it, so I'll add a nail. Add a nail right there. And I just measure it into the roof on the inside edge. I want to go a little bit strong, so 8 5/8 might be a little strong. I'm trying to go where it's going to contact the roof, which is more towards the bottom leg of this F channel. So we got 8 5/8, same thing here, 8 5/8, looking good right across. Okay, 8 5/8, and again the same method I used before, just using my finger as a guide, putting it in that groove and scribing that line. And you can see if I measure this, we're at 8 5/8. Now it is a little bit cold out, but it's not really cold enough where this is going to crack. But generally, depending on the situation, when I snip, the cracks tend to go to the left. So I try to put my scrap piece on the left side of my snip. That way the piece that I'm using doesn't end up with cracks in it. Yep, we're clipped in there. It's tight against the roof. And again, I want to add 2 nails to this so it doesn't end up twisting with the wind or expansion and contraction. He's going to head right through all of those. I don't want to pound it too tight. I don't want to deform it. That's good right there. Alright, so we got all our F channel and soffit on now. Now it's time for some J channel, and then after that we'll do some metal. And I'm gonna apologize, Rowdy. I mean, you guys can, you know, if I'm taking too long on something, you can just go ahead and fast forward until I get through it. But I'm gonna record the whole process for you, because I have some valuable pointers and tips and tricks that I use. I'll wipe this thing off. Okay. Now this J channel, what I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt to do, is I want to keep this, I want to make both of these corners out of this one piece. So what I want to do, and then I'll just leave the top, will come up to there and there somewhere. So So what I want to do is kind of figure out where this is going to plane in. It looks like it actually kind of swells up a little bit right there, and it's probably going to contact, it's going to be in that same line as this right here. So it's right about there, and it looks like maybe 18 inches. I'll go somewhere in the middle of the piece, and I'm going to mark 18 inches. Now, it's just, it ends up looking better if you can keep these things in one piece. These seams right here. So you'll see how I cut this thing to make that happen. There's both my marks. This one is going to make a sharp corner and go back up the roof. So I'm going to cut this at about a 50-degree angle. Okay, and cut it again at a 50. Get rid of that little bit. Now I'm cutting it inside of that cut because I don't want to cut it over here. That'll hold this apart, and you don't see the back side of this all the way into there. Same thing here. Take that little piece off, and now from the ground, when you look up, if I went this way, you'd see a hole underneath. So I'm going to go that way, and you won't see a hole underneath. Okay, so that's one part of it. And now we got the part that makes the corner to go up the roof. So I'm going to do is cut just a little bit. Now what I'm actually doing is I'm actually kind of breaking. It might sound weird, but I'm kind of breaking with this, with my snips, and giving it a little twist. And what I don't want to happen, you heard that little click, I don't want to go chomp just right through it, because that speed will actually cause this to crack right there. So I'm slowing down the snip a little bit to get over that edge. It's kind of cold out, right? A little bit cold out right now. Okay, so I got that little thing snipped, and I'm gonna cut off this top rolled edge. See that crack right there? But that's good. Okay, so now I have an adjustable corner, and it's gonna look nice from the ground. I can go all the way to there if I wanted to. Okay, I don't really fit in here. Okay. Okay. Put the nail at the top of the slot there. And this thing's gonna have to kind of bend around. I want to put this pretty level right there with the counterflashing that I already have on. And just a fair warning, you know, some of these companies will say you're supposed to leave the J channel an inch off the roof. I don't do that because it looks like garbage. You're gonna see silver underneath there. It looks great. It looks good to do it right against the roof. I think they're worried about the J channel warping. And bubbling if it gets too hot being right against the roof. I would recommend checking your manufacturer recommendations on that. I didn't like how that was turning the corner there. I want to give it a little bit more room to move. I don't want to twist it so bad. Okay. I'm going to knife this top edge off. So there's lots of different little practices that you can use. It's not really a hard, fast rule for like cutting things and making J-channel look nice. I've learned a few tricks through the years myself. I don't like how wavy this is, but I think that's gonna look pretty good from the ground. And that's just the inside of the J. I'm dropping all my tools. Reload. Okay. All right, well, those are the harder parts right there, trying to squeeze in there. A little bit of silver showing there. I suppose I probably could pull those staples and push it down a little bit, but I think it's looking acceptable. I'm not crazy about it, but it'll work. If the roofer hadn't put all his shingles going up the roof there, it'd be a little bit tighter. He should have made a nice clean corner for me. But nonetheless, I'm not thrilled with it, but it looks okay. Alright, another trick for you guys. How I tie J-channel together is snip that, snip it there and there. I'm going further in with this back snip than this front snip. And now this guy will slide right inside there. Just like that. And now it's got room to move. It's held nice and tight. And this one I'll measure in. I'm gonna measure a little bit long, go 59.5. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Just going down the roof this way. I'm gonna tie these things together just like I did the other one. And we said it was 59.5. What I can do is take that little notch in my tape and hook it right on there. I'll go a little bigger and 59.5, 59.75. I'm gonna turn the corner the same way I did with the other one where it hit the roof. So same thing here. A little twist, gentle, don't break. There we go. It's already squeezed together, so that second snip isn't as nerve-wracking as the first. And once again, just snipping off this rolled edge right here. I'm doing that just to get it out of the way so it doesn't get held up so far out. See, that's holding pretty tight right there. And there we go. It's in there. That's looking good. Squeezing tight, make sure the bottom's in the same spot as the other one. I wonder, I might be able to get that whole one out of one piece. Alright, so I'm going to try and measure this whole thing out. I might be able to make it out of one piece of J. And you guys are like, what? What's the point? Well, you know, you're just holding all your joints nice and tight, and it's going to look really nice from the ground. So 22.5, 2.5. We had that measurement, but I forgot what it was for the F channel. The J channel can be nearly the same. Oh, it's 57. So we'll go 56 and 5/8. A little bit shorter. 56 5/8. We got our 22.5, and I'll just butt against that. And I'll just add a little bit to that, about 1/2 inch. So we got 63.5, so I'll go 64. I'll go 64.25. Alright. We got boom, boom, boom. All those. Oh, another thing it does is when you make overlaps, you don't have to be so exact with your measurements. You can be 1/2 inch off. It's still gonna look perfect. Okay, so I was saying you can be about 1/2 inch off with your cuts, your measurements. It's still gonna look perfect, except for between there and there. That's the critical one. So let's see, we got 64.25. It's gonna be our first measurement. And I'll have to do a little bit of math to do this one. Got 64.25. Now we gotta go 64.25 plus 56 5/8. Well, hopefully this piece is big enough to do it all. I think it is. So we're going, that's a 64. a 56 and a 5/8. So you got 64 1/4, 56 and 5/8. Can't really see that, but let's see. If it was 1/4 plus 5/8, that's 2/8 is 1/4, so that's 7/8. Okay, and then we add 4 plus 6, carry the 1, 6 and the 5, so that is 112, no, 110, sorry, 110 and 120 and 7/8. Do math right, come on guy. Okay, because we add 6 plus that, so it's 7 plus 5 is 12. So 120 and 7/8. 120 and 7/8 right there. And I like to double check myself. I'll just hold it at my 56 and 5/8 and make sure that it's hitting my mark. And I made a little tick, but yeah, I can see it. I don't know if you guys can. It's right on. So you got 56 and 5/8, and now 22 and a half off of there. This one doesn't have to be so exact. 22 and a half. Then, yeah, it works with about, I don't know, 4 inches to spare. We'll cut the bit off of there, just like we did on all the other ones. This is tying together with another piece of J, cutting that back out. You don't want to go too crazy cutting this out like so far up, because you start to see a hole like behind your siding. So you keep it pretty shallow, actually. A little bit tighter than what I did right there is pretty good. Okay, so now this is going down, and it looks like it's almost gonna be inside 45. So I'll probably actually just try to do it like that. Bye-bye. And snip that in, that in. Get rid of that little piece. And same way I've been doing the other ones. And I like to, even on the J channel, if I can, I try to make my seams facing away from high traffic areas. So you're gonna look from down there and look up this way. Well, I'm putting the overlap going that way. I know all the other ones are facing down, well, except for that one. It sheds water a little better that way, but it really doesn't. It doesn't really make sense. I'm not going to try to defend that one. I'm just speaking words, but no, you know, whatever. If I can, put joints away from high traffic areas. Okay, that should go together like that. And that's a little bit beyond a 90 down there. I'm going to correct that in a little bit. I'm going to get this set. That's a little pinched together. You can see it's actually bent a little bit too much. So I'm gonna bring this guy out here and give it a little trim. I don't want to go too crazy with it because it'll start to open up pretty quickly. That was perfect. And I'll just keep it on that side of it. Technically, I think they tell you to let J-channel grow, but yeah, I don't think that's always possible. You know, leave a little bit of room. I could have left this a little bit short between those 2 points because it's gonna warm up and grow a little bit. But I've never seen one of my jobs where J-channel grew between points and looked terrible. You know, I'm not worried about oil canning so much. But, you know, word of caution would be don't put it super snug. Maybe give yourself a little bit of room, 1/8 inch on, you know, the roof edge or something, just a little bit short if it's cold out. Okay, so we got our J on, and now I'm going to do some metal wrap. Let's see, where do I want this thing? Right there is a good spot for it, maybe. Oh, I almost feel like just pausing this and coming back when I'm done, because this little bit right here is gonna be a little bit time consuming, getting all this in here and looking nice. But I won't do that. I'll bring you guys along for the ride. If you want to, you can fast forward this part. It's probably going to take about 20 minutes. The roofer did a pretty good job. It's all watertight. There's no leaks in there right now, so I'm not going to worry too much about making these little corners watertight. I'm going to try to get metal in there as far as I can. And then this one's going to overlap a little bit on this one, hopefully. Maybe a little dab of caulking right there. Anyways, I'm going to grab my metal and I'm going to move my ladder over close to there so I can work off the ladder and get that. You can see the J-channel kind of wiggles up and down a little bit. If the roofers don't put their step flashing perfectly tight against the plywood, then you end up with waves, and there's not a whole lot I can do to correct them. Alright, so there we are, and I'm going to grab a scrap. I'll have another video on how to bend metal. Let's see, how do we want to do this? This is the biggest bend right there. You know what? I'm gonna go grab a full sheet of metal, because I don't want to end up with that rib showing underneath the other piece of metal coming down, the fascia metal coming down this way. BRB. Alright guys, and I'm back. I got my full piece of metal, and this is all pretty watertight down here, so when I put my full piece on, it's just going to add to what's there. There might be a little corner right there where it's, you see a little silver. That's nothing a little bit of caulking couldn't fix. Alright, so actually you're not going to work off the ladder. Okay. Just slide this in to where I want it to be. I'm going to go inside of the shingle hanging down here. Just kind of eyeballing that there. It's going to come up the roof, and then it's going to go straight over with that, and I'll cut it about like that. I might actually have to go a little bit. I got to make sure that this metal is going to cover it. So this metal is going to follow this line here, and it's going to go there. So as you can see, this piece is going to be hidden behind that one. So you'll see what I mean in a minute here. That. And I'm going to go behind the shingle here, or try to. You can do it. Ooh, I think he nailed it. Okay, so since he nailed it, I'm going to go just a little bit in there. And I kind of just cut like that. And the whole idea is just to get behind there a little bit. That way it's all white. There. Okay. I went a little bit too much with my notch. That means I gotta cut this guy down a little bit further and then back. And that'll slide it further in. Okay. Getting it behind that shingle there. And this is mostly getting covered up by this gable metal coming down there. But this is just to cover this little corner right here. And like I was saying before, I could add a little dab of caulking there if I wanted to. Oh, found my finger. Wow, I swear I know how to use a hammer, guys. Couple nails. It's probably a knot right there. Oh, yep, found something hard. I gave that one the good old college try. Bye-bye. Okay, I'll try a different spot. Okay. Now this piece is going to come down and it's going to cover all that. So this is going to be a bit tricky, but I'm going to try walk you through it, and I'm going to try figure it out myself too here at the same time. What I'm going to want to do is figure out where this soffit goes, because right there at this point, follow that line down, it contacts right there. Okay, I'm going to square that right up to the top. And again, this is tricky stuff right here, guys. Been doing this for years, and this is not super simple. Did I drop my tape? What did I do with it? Oh. Okay. Oh, there it is. Right where it was supposed to be. Okay, I got a square mark up. Okay guys, I know that I made this bend in my metal 5.5 inches, which is down a little bit from that strapping right there, from the shadow board. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run my tape down, follow this bottom of the soffit. I want it to be planed with that. Okay, we're going to that mark there. We got 9 1/8. Okay, so we got 9 1/8 from that mark. And I actually know that I want to be a little bit down from there with my snip, because I'm gonna snip the bottom leg of that metal going up like that. It's actually probably more like since I'm going that way, I need to minus from it, so I'm gonna say 8.5. 8.5. Alright, where we can see it. 8.5. That's on the bottom leg. Okay. Now I'm gonna hold my tape down about 1/4 inch from this shadow board, and find where it hits this roof edge. We got 27 1/4, and then where it hits the bottom drip edge, I'm going to hold that on the outer edge, because it's actually going to be angled back up a little bit, that cut in the shadow board, and you'll see what I'm saying in a second here. Okay, we got 28 3/8. That's about where it hits. This is kind of guesswork, guys, so we'll say 28 3/4. So we get them as close as we can, and then we'll do some trimming as needed. So we got 8.5, 28 3/4, 27 1/4. I'm going to take a picture of that. That way I have my measurements. I'm going to try to leave, when I measured that against the roof there, I'm going to try to cut that down a little bit at an angle, and then flat, and back up, or across there. Okay. I already know the angle of this roof is a 50 degree, because it's a 10 pitch. So I know that that strapping band is following that roof and coming down, hitting this one. That's a 50. So the strapping gets cut at a 50 degree angle. Right there. Okay. Okay, now we had, from that point, it was 28 3/4. Let's see if I figure out what I'm even doing here. Made a little mark there. 28 3/4. Oh yeah. So now I can square down with that. And now I can go my 16 or whatever whatever it was. I'm just making little ticks, that way I don't have big old marks to wipe away. 8.5 only. Okay. And what did we have? We had the 27 or whatever it was. Honestly, that's kind of, it's probably right on this corner. So it's going to come down a little bit and then maybe start the angle up. Did I do that backwards? Yeah, somehow. Well, we're gonna have to trim it and see how it goes, guys. I'm just actually gonna come straight off of there. I think it's actually got to be up a little bit. Yeah, that's, I did it backwards. So we'll start from there, go down a bit, and then there. So that's all getting cut off. And I will, oh, I wanted to not get that dirty. Oh well, I'll use this piece of J as a straight edge. It's straight enough, I think. There we go. Now I gotta clean this thing. Alright. Now because this is on, we're saving this left piece, I can't really get my snips on it, so I'm gonna knife this thing. Just score and snap. Ooh, hit the concrete. Now this thing gets cut a little bit at an angle because this also goes up that roof on the back side there. Okay, now what I'm trying to do is crease this part over here and not this part because I have this rolled edge. So I'm trying to bend this side first and holding this side stable. Get rid of that little nub in there. There we go. We'll see how she looks. We'll probably have to do some trimming. This little rolled edge is to give this metal some more rigidity. Otherwise you have a lot of flat right there and you can end up with more bubbles. Alright, we'll see how we did. Not even close. I don't like that being there. It's gonna fall off, hit me in the head. Okay, what do we got? Oh, well, we got the angle and everything right. I just got to cut off. That was kind of funky. I don't know how that worked out, but somehow it did, guys. I know we're coming back. Coming back 8.5 inches on this edge here. Oh yeah, I had the mark there still. I just forgot I had to cut this bottom edge off. So I knew I measured down there and across there, that added that bit. They got our angle correct, and then I just forgot I had to snip this going back up there at an angle a little bit and right across. So we're gonna go like this. And same thing with this guy. Just gonna knife that off. Gently fold it over. Bye-bye. Okay. Now we'll see how we did. I shouldn't second guess myself like that, you know. I knew I'm not that bad. Not that far off. Okay. And it looks like, what do we got? All my tools are falling out of my bags. Alright, so this bottom edge needs to be cut more out of angle. Oh yeah, that's right. See, I told you guys what I had to do there, but then I forgot. Down at the bottom here, this is going up that roof. So I had to cut that out of angle. Okay, this is close, pretty close, but it looks like we need to have about 1 inch further down there, or I mean 1/2 inch. Also, I want to make sure that I'm holding this thing straight all the way up. It needs to be against the soffit all the way up. Okay, yeah, so it almost is 1 inch. Okay. So you got to cut quite a bit more off of that bottom. Now that we got this bottom rolled edge out of the way, I don't have to knife it this time. I can just snip it. Remember, we're going at an angle there. Okay. And now, I guess I can mark that at the 50. Once again, 50-degree angle. Sometimes things are not, they're not as cut and dry or as clean or perfect in the real world as we want them to be, guys. And this is one of those situations where you want there to be a method and a practice for everything, but there's just not. Now I forgot to add on down at the bottom, so now my strapping band is short. Okay, so I needed to be about an inch, at least an inch longer with that. So because I cut too much off of that, I should have never did that. Now I gotta add that back on, which means in order to add that back on, I gotta trim this, I gotta trim that bottom again, and leave that strapping long, like I didn't do this last time I trimmed it. But the good news is we have this angle. That angle is perfect right now. Okay, so the angle is perfect. I just need to cut an inch off to allow that strapping, this shadow bend, to go down in contact down below there. And it seems to be about an inch. So, what's this? 4th try? And I got a phone call. Be right back. Nope, never mind. Scam call, spam call. Okay, alright. So, we're gonna go here about, and we're right there. So we need to be over here. And I'm doing my best to line up this so I don't have a weird little jog right there. I don't want to make a bunch of burrs either. I kind of did, but it's pretty clean cut. Takes a little bit of patience to make a clean cut. There we go. And once again, we're trimming this bottom. This time, we're leaving that. And we'll see how we did. Come on, Betty. Please work. I don't want to bring my poor viewers for a longer than necessary ride here. Okay, looks like it's, we gotta cut a little bit off that strapping bend. I'm so sorry guys, this is taking forever. Like I said, you can always skip ahead. I'm documenting the struggles. Okay. Looks like that strapping bend just sneaks by there. We're up tight all the way across. And what needs to happen now? That's looking pretty good, consistent with up here. so it's only this that I need to cut off to get that to slide down further. She's a beauty. She's a beauty fish. I think I can live with that. Oh yeah, that's looking good. All right. This little edge here is gonna show up, so I'm gonna trim it off. But now I can put it inside the drip edge and slide it right down into place. Hoi. Well, you got to see the struggle today, guys. But would you look at that? It's a thing of beauty. No, beauty enough anyways. I don't even know if I want to publish this video. But no, seriously, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. For what we had to do, it's looking pretty ducky. And there's always white paint too. We could paint that drip edge, not drip edge. We could paint the set flashing in there. Could paint it white if we're concerned that there's a little bit of silver showing. What do they call it? The struggle bus or something? Hey, you stay up there. There we go. Oh, she's looking beautiful. Be gentle not to ding the metal when you nail it. Just start all over again. But if you did have to start over again, at least we already made a template. You just hold that on top of another piece and trace it out. Well, that didn't hit anything, but that's all right. Stop leaking. Okay. I'll get a nail in down here. And a nail right under this shadow board here. Whew, there you have it, guys. That was a struggle, but we got her done. Am I still recording? I think I am. Yep, it's blinking. Okay. Oh, you get to see my sweatpants. All right. And we're gonna switch out to the pass load, because that one doesn't leak. For some reason this one likes to leak. It's the fitting here, it's not the gun. Okay, I'm gonna get the rest of the metal up here and we'll put that up. First step is a doozy. We are up close and personal with the siding, guys. I don't like to make excuses, but my goodness, you should see some of the things that other siders do. Like, terrible. Siding, I've heard people say, is for a roadside appeal, meaning a little gap here or there, waves or whatever they didn't care about, but I don't have it in me. I try to make everything look nice from where I'm installing it. Which is right where you're standing. You guys are up close and personal. Don't want to overdrive those nails. If you do, you end up putting a dimple in it. Don't run away on me, metal. Ooh, no. I found a knot or something. I didn't even use you. Why are you bent? Okay. Come on. Oh no, it's bending. No. Don't bend over. It's bent. Okay. That's always a fun time. Try not to crush my fingers. And pull it up. Okay. Whew. Got lucky. Third time's a charm. We got it. Always put a nail in the seam, because if you don't, the wind will catch this edge here and wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. It'll wiggle that nail. And before you know it, the whole piece of metal will pop right off. There we go. Goodbye. Okay. That was the clip that holds that tape on my nail bags, and I need that right now. So I'll be right back, guys. Alright, we're back. Got my tape measure back. Oh, no worse for the wear. Good job, Stanley. Actually, the clip popped off, but it's apparently made to do that. Maybe it's so you can put it back on and you'll be still good to go. Okay, so like I was saying, I like to face my seams away from the viewing points. So viewing points over there, coming this way. I know whenever I want the seam to face away, I just walk to the furthest corner and start from there and work my way back to where it's going to be viewed from. So what we got here is, hey, look at that, it's a familiar measurement. Bottom of the soffit against the roof, it's like 57 1/8. 57 1/8. Okay, and we're going right in line with this guy. Any one of these lines, pick a line, bottom of that, and it looks like it's about a 5/12. I could read the angle too, but 5/12 just caught my attention. And I already know that this roof is a 10 pitch. Like I said, go there, boom, it's about a 50-degree angle. It is a 50-degree angle. Or I can hold my square and level like this, and I can read it on that right there, 10 pitch. I also framed this house, so I know what the roofs are. Okay, what do we got? Is it a good piece? Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. Okay, it'll clean up nice. And we had a 5 degree. This seems steeper than it should. I don't know why. It almost looks like it's supposed to be square. So I don't know what's going on. I must have read that wrong. Yeah, guys, I don't know. It's only about an inch. I'm holding it up there. And I'm taking about an inch off the bottom from where it's square, so I don't know what happened. I'm gonna cut off that little bit there. That's all messed up. If anything, I do want the top to be a little bit long. That way I can trim that. So I'll go right there. And hope that I'm cutting the top a little bit long. I can test fit this now. See how I did. Mainly looks like, yeah, I can cut about a 1/2 inch off the top. I was gonna say it looks mainly like the strapping bend was long, but I don't think that's necessarily true. There's looking good. Can still trim the top some more, and then I'll cut. Then I'll cut it to length. Not my best admittedly not my best day, guys, you know. I don't know. Guess some days you're with it, some days you're not. We had 57 and an eighth. 57 and an eighth right there. Right along that bottom edge. And that thing's pretty gnarly up there. This is a 10. I don't know if you can see that on my square. This piece was just long enough. Should be right up there. I'm just marking those 3 points. And I'm going to leave some tabs so that the other piece will overlap this one. So I'm cutting it a little bit long. Turn that up. Head right up to that point there. And I don't need that so big. Okay, now we'll have our 4 overlaps. Making sure I'm bending that at a 90. Sometimes you go a little bit at an angle. There we go. Pretty. Okay, it's a little tighter right there than I want it to be, but it's gonna work out just wonderful. I'll do 4 nails in this. Why not? And again, always nailing the ends. Got my ladder a little bit in the way. Okay. That piece. And I'll measure this a little long, 72. Looking good. Measuring off of that butt end there. 72. And now this gets cut at the 10 pitch. Now this one I marked the whole way across. Same thing, whole way across. And that gets cut straight up. Here. sometimes they make that top point a little bit too tight, so I just go ahead and snip that little point off. That's all hidden up there anyways. Ooh. Come on. Wow, that is tight. Go in there. Okay. Oh, too much. Too much power. Whoop. Oh boy. Okay. Little gentle tapperoni. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, that's gonna look pretty good. Or it does look pretty good. Yeah, you know, you guys, I'm just taking you to work with me, and well, sometimes I guess there's some lulls in what I'm saying. I should probably learn how to tell some stories or something. But not the best storyteller. So there we go. There we have it. They got a little bit scuffed up when it decided to run down the roof on me. But there we are. Got all the metal on, all the trim on, everything ready to go. Ready for some siding. I'm gonna get some siding up here and I'll be right back. We'll take this thing off of there. That's just gonna get in the way when I try to put siding around it. This is the easy and fun part now for me. The siding, because it's just maybe an hour and that's it. I mean, it transforms like that because now we have all the trim done. Yeah, it's just wild how quickly it changes from looking ugly to perfect. So be right back. All right guys, if you are still here, I am mighty impressed with you because yeah, we really rode the struggle bus today. I had to go get a snack and now I'm a little bit happier now. So, all right, so this is on to the fun part. We're just gonna buzz the siding right up this. Like I said, we're already trimmed out. Everything looking nice. I keep saying pretty good and like, you know, like I have high standards for myself. All of this is going to be beautiful, beautiful, beautiful from the ground, and I'll show you when we get down there. Yeah, this is actually a really nice job that we're doing right here. I've had many compliments on my work. I've had many people say that. I've actually had people say I should teach people how to do siding, so Yeah, so that's where I'm at. Anyways, we got 8-inch siding, and the nail fin is about 1 3/8 inches. I'm gonna mark 9.5, and then I'm gonna level that right across to get this first piece of siding on here. All right, there we go. And my shoulder's coming out of socket. My shoulders do what they call subluxation, and being put into awkward positions will make my shoulders partially dislocate. So it's a good time. It doesn't hurt. It's just kind of feels weird. And there we are. Man, okay. What I'll do is I'm going to measure along the top here, and I'll measure on the bottom, and I'm just going to kind of guesstimate this kind of thing right here, and I might have to do a bunch of trimming just like we've done before. And okay, what do we got? We got 29, maybe I can say it's 30 inches along that top nail fin, and then right to that point there we got 15 3/4. All right, and we're just gonna roll right up that edge. I know already that this roof here is a 5/12 pitch, which is a, I believe, 67.5 degree angle. But I'm gonna have to start out a little shallower than that because we bent that J channel. The J channel doesn't follow the roof perfect right away. So we got 15 3/4. And this edge here again that's a 50 degree angle. Yeah, I'm usually a little bit more positive than I am today. I don't know what's up with me, but whatever. We'll get through it. 30 inches. We were along that top edge there, so I got to follow that up right there. And we're on the top of that nail fin is where I marked that at 9.5. 30 inches, right? Yep. Okay. So we know that's the longest point, and these pieces, I think I even mentioned, are 9 3/8 usually. Well, it's a little closer to 9.5, but it's 9 3/8. And so we marked 9.5 up there. It'll bring the bottom up a little bit. We'll just plop it right into that J channel. All right, so we got 67.5 degree angle for the 5 pitch. A 5 pitch is 22.5 degrees. And what we want to do, once again, I mean, I'm going to repeat some things, is we're going to minus the 22.5 from 90, and that gets us our angle on the run. So we got 67.5 degrees right there. And hopefully what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to cut this, and I'm going to save this piece for a pattern. And like I said before, I'm going to have to start out a little bit more shallow, but at first I'm going to cut this piece to give myself a pattern. Just chomp right through. It's going to crack. It's going to crack this way on the left, like I've been saying. Oh, it didn't. Wow. Thought it would. I lied to you. Okay. Oh, good. I thought it cracked on the right side somehow. And we're going to that point there. And we're gonna kind of make that a little bit round right there. Okay, so that should follow that, and maybe I'll have to trim it, maybe I won't. Oh, I should have saved that because I can use it for the upper side of the piece. Alright, so we got, want to check that, 28. I'll let that slide down right there. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to trim that bottom. See, it's good over there. It's actually quite a bit. Let's see what we got. Closer. Look at where we're hitting. I think we're hitting actually on this whole bottom there. Yeah, it's all got to get trimmed still. I don't want to squeeze it down so much. It's starting to deform the piece. I want it to just rest in there. So I gotta take some more off of this. Snap off of there, kind of. I was just surprised this stuff isn't breaking. Usually at these temperatures it would be breaking. It's probably about 35 degrees out. Oh, that's looking beautiful. There we go. Got that first piece in, and I forgot my measurement on that, so I'm just gonna take it out. What do we got? 28-ish. And I just bear in mind how the piece is fitting, and I can make a minor adjustment when I cut the next piece if I want to make it a little bigger or smaller. And for this first piece, what I like to do is put my staple down at the bottom of the slot, and then one at the top. One at the bottom, one at the top. They're all in the middle. What that does is it stops me from being able to move this piece up and down. So we had, you can see it can still move. So you had 28 inches. It's short there. It's all the way tight over there. I could feel that. All right, so I'm gonna cut this pattern off here. Come on, there you go. We had 28 inches. That was a little bit shy, so it should work out pretty good. I'll go a little bit shorter than that. And now I just hold this piece here and scribe that. And now this time I'm gonna save this piece here and use this one as a pattern. That way I don't have to pull out my tape or my square every time. Now what's gonna happen is it's gonna cut this, the bottom leg of that clip is longer than the face of the piece of the side, and you'll see what I'm saying in a second here. You see how that cracked? Cracks on the left side usually. Now, see that bottom leg there? It's too far that way, so I'm just gonna snip it back. See, there we go. And save this piece. Don't throw it down. Just getting excited. Just gonna throw it down again. And once again, the clip is beyond the face. You don't want that. Snip that off. So we had 28 inches before. See what we got now. 37. 37. So a gain of 9 inches. Okay. That's looking good. It's got room to grow. Now I can put the staple at the top of the hole. And I'm checking that I'm running level. Yep. Once again, staple at the top of the hole and then at the bottom of the hole. That cracked, I'm gonna undo that. So that's good right there. That's what I want. I don't want it to crack. Now the siding can't move where that staple is, so I gotta pull that out. So we had 37, and it's pretty good there, and it's pretty good there. So it looks like we're gaining about 9.5 inches actually per piece. Let's see. When I measured 37, it was a little bit short, so I'm gonna add a little bit to it. See that crack right there? I'm gonna snip that crack off of there. Don't like to put pieces in with cracks on them. Go 37.5. I'll try. Just so I don't get it confused, what you can do is keep cutting yourself little triangles like that, and you forget which one was your pattern, and you get a little bit off with each piece, and next thing you know your angle's way off and you're wondering what happened. It's what you call a compound error. You're only off by 1/8 inch on each one. Next thing you know, you're off by a half an inch and you're wondering what went wrong. Okay, it's looking good. Other thing that'll happen is going up the roof right here, because of the way this is walking back each piece, it's easy to pull these up and have them start running way uphill. So you gotta watch out for that. See, I'm heading a little bit uphill already. I pound those staples down a little bit and get myself level and go up with these a little bit. Okay, we're good to go. We had 37.5. I'm gonna add 9.5 inches to that. It would be 47.5. So I'll go 47. 47 right there. Yeah, this siding is, vinyl siding is a lot more finesse than people realize. It's not hard to stretch it out or get yourself going a little bit sideways. There's a little crack right there. That's gonna be in the J. It'll be okay. Not thrilled about it, but it'll be alright. So it's just a gentle pressure, and I'm not pulling up hard on them. I'm holding up about maybe 1 pound of pressure. Oh, I got everything's jabbing me in the side because I'm trying to sit on the roof. Ooh, okay. There we go. See if I can move and make sure we're still heading level. We are right on. So we're at 47. And so now we would be 57. So 56.5. Don't break, don't break. There we go. That time it didn't break. So what I did there is, it's kind of weird, but the more I jam these snips inside, the more I jam it into the crevice of, wow, I don't even know what I'm saying, into there, the less it breaks. Okay. 56.5. right there. Hopefully I can get this thing all sided up before my battery dies. My battery has like 50%, and when you have it on the settings that I got it on, it doesn't get you very much time. Make me work a little bit faster maybe. Ooh, that's looking pretty. Bumping you guys on the wall. Okay. Gently holding it up, not stretching it out, but putting a little bit of pressure. And I'm putting my staple at the top for the most part. At the top of the hole. In the center, but at the top of the hole. That way, when I let go, the piece doesn't rest back down. So I'm maintaining my 4-inch. This is where it clipped in. And yeah. What do we have? We had 56.5, so it should be 66 then. Yeah. I know I gotta clean up down there. Right there. Whoop. Look out. $66. The next one will be 75.5. I don't think I'll get the next one out of this. Kind of weird, like snipping things. You get the feel for when you think you're putting too much pressure on something in the winter, and you think it's likely to snap, like right there. I pretty much knew it was gonna break. I tried to be gentle, but it's all right because that piece is a scrap piece and there's no cracks on this side. Thought it was gonna go bye-bye. So what do we got? 75.5 is our next one. We're cutting these all out of full pieces now. It's a little bit loose, but if I center it in there, it'll look good, and it's only gonna get bigger from this point because it's cold out. Whoa, lean over. Okay, double check that I'm still going level. Yeah, I pulled it up a little bit, so I thought I saw that move. Oh goodness, this Tyvek's not in the best shape. House wrap, I should say. There we go. Okay, 75.5. It looks like it's gonna bump into that roof maybe. And then once you bump into that roof, they're all gonna stay the same all the way up till we hit the other direction. 75.5 with a little bit small, so I'm adding a little bit to it. Always feels good to be done with those shallow angles. And in the summertime, I would just power right over that rib there. Don't worry about squishing it down, but more likely to crack right now. Alright, we'll see where we ended up here. Yeah, it's running into that just a little bit, and actually it looks like the next piece, you follow this bottom edge, it hits that joint in the J. So next piece is gonna change right there. Okay, we had see, that one's a bit loose, but it had to go down, and I can center this again. And what I'll do is I'm going to put the nail close to that side of the slot over there, and I'll let it sink down a little bit, and I'm going to put it close to this side of the slot over there. That way it's going to stay right where it's at. It's not going to go moving way out of the J channel on either side. It can still expand from those points. I mean, technically, you know, the manufacturer might void your warranty for doing that. I don't know. But I've never had a problem with that. It's kind of a little cheat, you know. Maybe probably could cut another piece, but why would I do that when I can keep rolling? And it's perfectly fine. It looks great. Okay, we had 75.5. It should have been 76 at least. We're gonna try go 86. You end up adding a lot when you're going on an angle, because you add a lot this way, it actually doesn't add a lot that way. Weird how it works out, but that's the way math and geometry works, I guess. Okay. Oh my goodness, I forgot the measurement. We had 76. I think we went 87. Because all of those are going to be cut the same. I think I'm going to cut them on the saw. Oh, nope. We want 86. Oh yeah, because we're adding a little bit. Okay. It wasn't 10 inches we're supposed to add. 86. I'm going to test fit this, see how it works. And then I'm going to go down, cut them all with the saw, and then I'll turn this thing back on when I come back up to install them. I just gotta remember that measurement. Oop. Yeah, see? Sometimes you can power right over the rib and it's alright. Doesn't crack it. Nothing cracked right there. And this side, we'll snip-a-runny. So we had 86 inches. Could be a little bit bigger. So I'll probably go 86 and a quarter. And let's see how many I need. Eyeballing over with that point there. And 64 inches. Yep. So that's 2 per red mark. That's 8 pieces. 8 pieces. And I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. I got all my siding cut. I'm hoping that I can get it all installed before my battery dies. Got 16%. Let's see what I can do. Making sure it's got room to grow, room to move. Nailing the center of the slots. About every 16 inches. You can see this can move back and forth. Okay, now I'm hitting this dryer vent. I think 7 5/8 is about right. We'll go 7 5/8 shy. Now what I'll do is I'll actually clip this in and let it just ride over the dryer vent. It's actually not a dryer vent, but well, it's not venting a dryer. It is called a dryer vent. So I'm going to center this and I'm going to mark it a little big over here and about a quarter big over there, big on each side, because this thing also has that collar which adds to this edge here. So we had 7 5/8 shy. So we let the bottom go down a little bit because you know, that collar continues all the way around it. So you don't want to try to cut the bottom too tight with these. Ooh, wow, missed 3 times, 4 times. A little scary to do it like this. I could accidentally snip too far, but I want to get that started, and I don't want to come at this with too much speed because then that's going to crack it. I'll have to start all over again. I was burying my snips all the way down, and once you get through that rib it just takes off and snip, come all the way down it. Whoops. Kind of riding a fine line between cracking it and accidentally cutting too far. There we go. It's looking good. It's got room to go in all directions. Got room to go this way. Because this dryer vent's going to lock it in place. It has to be able to grow in that direction. And it has to be able to go that way too. Okay, this one I'll measure because it's not so easy to clip it in or like bend it around the dryer vent, and that changes the measurements. So we'll go 51 and 5/8. Okay, and then we'll say the dryer vent is 5.5 shy. And we need to go up 6 inches will be plenty. Okay. Okay, 51 and 5/8. 51 and 5/8 right there, and 5.5, a little bit short on 5.5, and then we're up 6 inches. Come on. Okay. Okay. See how I didn't just chomp right over that right there, because there's a chance it would break to the left. So turning the corner like that helps stop it from breaking. There we go. Looking good. Out of the way. Still looking good. They worked all the way up. Okay, almost lost my tape measure again. All right, so what I want to do is actually come across level and then measure up to that line there. We'll say it's 6 5/8. Okay. Since we went up this way, need to make sure we do the same thing here. So 6 5/8, that's 1 3/8 down from the top here. This is the 8-inch piece. So it's got to come back at a 50-degree angle like that. And I think I might just guesstimate on that one. think I can eyeball a 50-degree angle. And I'll pop this little collar back on this thing. And we're back. I have just enough battery to finish this thing up. Hopefully it's not too grainy, but I got the dryer vent cover back on, or the J channel back on that. It just clips on there. And I got all the pieces cut to finish up this gable here. So here we go. I don't know how much you guys can see. I'll try not to move my head too much. Hopefully have a decent picture here. And then I'll go down and I'm going to record with my phone a little bit. Maybe take a picture, but I don't know if I'll be able to attach a picture because I'm not quite that tech savvy. Sometimes I can hear when it's not going to shoot a staple because the way the gun sounds. And this piece here, I'm going to center it and put a nail in it close to the top. You gotta be careful when you do that. Sometimes you'll actually crack the piece. Sometimes I'll take my knife and just bore a hole in it for the nail so it won't crack the piece, and I gotta cut it all over again. Took a chance and it worked out that time. And there we go, we got the last piece in. I'm gonna go right through everything, through that last piece I put in. I can barely see it, so you guys probably can't see that at all. There we go. If you guys stuck it out, that's pretty cool. If you didn't, you're not here, so I'm not talking to you. Alright, so there we are. We sided a rake, guys. That was I don't know, somewhere around 5 hours probably. Much too long because I spent down there. It's a little bit tricky down in that corner. And I wanted to make it look nice as I could. And like I said, I'm gonna run down and take a video with my phone. Okay guys, said I'd show you what it looks like from down on the ground. And yeah, that's what the rake looks like from down here. And now today I'm on to, well, I was gonna side that wall, but I have to do PVC across the bottom and around those 4 windows there, so I don't have that material. So instead, I'm gonna come over here and we're gonna side this gable. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I do everything here, including lining up the layout around the corner, getting a level mark across, dropping everything down, and having the siding go straight across the tops of the windows, making sure that layout stays consistent. Around the front here, doesn't matter so much because that's vertical siding, so I don't need to worry about the layout lining up right there. If it was horizontal siding, then I would make sure it matches around each corner. All right, so I'm gonna shut this off for a second and get things ready.